In this driving lesson video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to not stall a manual car. And this is specifically in relation to my car here, which is a manual petrol car. The first and one of the main reasons why people stall the car is due to not keeping their feet steady when moving off, especially the clutch. I'll show you now. So I'm going to try and move off now. So I'm going to go into first gear. I'm going to get a little bit of power up, and I'm going to bring the clutch up to find the bite. You'll see the car lifting at the front there now, where the bite will be connecting. So here it is, just there. So if I try and move off now, and as I'm moving off, you'll see me being a little bit quick and hasty with the clutch. You should see the car conking out, jumping or stalling. So let's try it again. So that's where the car stalled there. I'll just go handbrake and neutral there just to make it safe. The car stalled there because I didn't keep my clutch steady. You need steady feet when moving off, and that will make sure the car will move off smoothly and without any jumps and jerks. Let's try again. This time I'll be keeping the feet much steadier. So I'm in neutral, handbrake's up. I'll restart the car. Now, so I'm just looking all around to make sure everything's okay. This time now I'm going to have steadier feet, so I'll talk you through it. I'm going to get a little bit of juice first. And I'm going to feel the bite. You'll see the front of the car rising there now. There. Now this time I'm going to let the handbrake down, but I'm going to keep the feet very, very steady, especially the left foot, especially the clutch. I'm going to keep it steady for 5 seconds, okay? So just check around me first. Handbrake down. Now feet steady for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the car moves off smoothly and without any jumps and jerks in that case, because I kept the feet steady for 5 seconds. I have made a great video on how to move off smoothly. You'll see a link coming up on screen there now. So please check that out and you will see me talking about moving off smoothly in a bit more detail. Another reason that learner drivers stall is because they don't do clutch control properly. Clutch control is the art of very soft and very gentle movements with your left foot, your clutch pedal, in order to creep out a short, small distance, or in order to reverse. So I'm going to show you now what good clutch control looks like. I'll go into first gear. Just check around first, make sure everything's okay. So I'll go into first gear. I get a small little bite just so I know the car is ready to move, and then I let down the handbrake. Looking around. So at the moment now I'm making very small and very gentle movements with the clutch. I'm bringing the clutch up slightly to go and in slightly to slow. So it's up to go and in to slow. But what a lot of learner drivers, especially the inexperienced ones, do sometimes, which causes them to stall or conk, is they're a little bit too quick and hasty with the clutch, like this, and that can cause the car to jump and then to eventually stall like that. Now, whenever you stall, of course, the first instinct should be to go handbrake first, and then neutral, and that will make the car secure again. But as you can see there, if you do not have gentle, steady, and subtle clutch control, the effect can be that the car can stall and it could even roll back, so it's important to get the handbrake up straight away when that happens. So that's another reason why learner drivers stall the car. So I was talking about clutch control there before. This is going to be clutch control now on the uphill, because I'm not sure if you can see it or not here, but it is a very steep hill that I'm on here. I'm facing uphill. So you need very, very, very gentle clutch control when you're trying to creep out uphill. But what you also need when you're creeping out uphill is a little bit of acceleration. No, not too much. You don't want to rev the car too much, but you do need some acceleration, because if you don't have any acceleration creeping out on the hill, it can lead to a stall. Let's try it without the proper revs first, and then we'll try it with the revs. So here we go. Start her up first. Now I'm going to check around first, making sure everything's okay. Now, with the first gear, just checking again, just want to be sure. Now, I got a little bit of a bite now. Remember, I have no revs now. I have no acceleration, okay? And I'm going to try and creep out up the hill now with no revs. So, the bite, handbrake is down. There's the bite. So, if I'm really careful with the clutch, it seems to be working okay. And that's in this car now, but on an older car, it might not work quite as well. But if I'm a little bit hasty with the clutch, like that, and there, it just conks out then. So, my car is quite forgiving on the hill, but on older cars, if you don't have at least a little bit of acceleration, it's going to be a little bit dodgy trying to creep out on the hill. It is most likely going to stall. Let's try it now with some acceleration. So I'll go into first gear. Just checking around again. Getting a little bit of acceleration first. You can probably hear a bit of it there now. There we go. Bit of a bite then. So I have the acceleration this time, and as I'm creeping out then, it certainly feels much more smoother. It feels better. It feels more in control. It doesn't feel like it's going to jerk or jump. It just feels smooth and steady, and it definitely feels nicer than before. So whenever you're creeping out on the uphill, it's very important to have some acceleration so the car has enough power to make it easier and to make it smoother on the uphill. The next reason why people sometimes stall the car is due to a lack of power or a lack of acceleration. If you do not have enough acceleration, you could stall the car, and this would be particularly important on the uphill. It's important on the flat as well, but especially more so on the uphill. So I'll move off here now without acceleration first, and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll try it with some acceleration. So I'm going to go into first gear then. Just going to check around first. So with the first gear. So I'm going to get a little bit of acceleration up, just about 15 revs or 1.5, depending on the style of clock you have. As you can see, there is plenty of revs for the flat. Maybe a little higher for the hill, but that's fine for the flat. So I'll get a little bit of a bite, and now that I have revs there, the car is going to move off nice and smoothly like that without too much trouble, because I have the power, and the power gives it that smoothness and efficiency moving off. But if I try and move off now without the revs, let's see how it reacts. So let's check around there. Try and move off. It's a bit jumpy there, but it managed to survive. I'm just going to bring it to a stop there now, and I'll go handbrake and neutral. So that time it survived without the revs, but it probably wouldn't survive on the hill, and even though it survived, it was a bit jumpy. So that's another common reason for stalling or conking out, is that learner drivers don't have enough power or acceleration as they are taking off. The next reason why people stall the car is because they do not take off in the appropriate gear. That would be first gear. You must take off in first gear every time. The only possible exception is if you're moving off on a steep downhill. So let's try a few examples here now. I'm going to do a few laps around the car park here, and you'll see me taking off in first gear, and you'll see me what it's like then when I take off in second gear or third gear. So the first thing is just check around before I go here. Moving off then, nice steady feet. So I'll get into second gear straight away here now. Now I'm going to bring the car to a nice gentle stop here first, okay? Just like that. The clutch goes in, and I go to first gear now. Just get a bit of juice, and off she goes again. And that's no problem there, because I took off in the appropriate gear. I took off in first gear. But now I'm going to come around here. I'll be stopping now, and remember, I've just gone to second gear in case you haven't seen. I've just gone to second gear, so I'm going to bring the car to a nice gentle stop now. So brake and clutch. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead again now, and off. Whoa, whoops, a daisy. There we go. Awkward. And handbrake and neutral. So the reason the car stalled there was because I didn't ensure that I was in first gear taking off. I took off there in second gear, or I tried to take off in second gear, and the result was the car stalled. A very common reason why learner drivers stall, due to not being in first gear taking off. Another reason why people conk out is that they lift their clutch before they've gone to neutral when securing the car. I'm going to move off here now and go to second gear, and I'm going to stop shortly, and you'll see what happens when I don't secure the car properly. So here we go. Go to first gear, just check around. Just moving off there now. Okay, so I'm going to go into second gear, sorry. Now I'm going to have a nice gentle stop here now. So I'm going to brake first, and then I'm going to clutch, and then it's handbrake. Oops, didn't go to neutral, and that's why the car stalled. So if you have a look down here, you will see that the gear stick is still in second gear. So next time now, I'm going to fix that, okay? So I'm going to restart the car, back to neutral. So I'll go into first gear, going to move off again now, so just checking around me. Going to move off, and everything looks good. So I'll go to second gear now. Going to turn down here. Now I'm going to bring it to a nice gentle stop now, so brake first, then clutch in. Now, I secure the car properly like this, okay, a nice gentle stop, so handbrake first, and then neutral, and only then can I lift the feet. So a lot of learner drivers, they forget that they have to secure the car first by handbrake and a neutral gear, no gear, that's in the middle here where you can shake it and there's plenty of freedom. And only when I've done handbrake and neutral, only then can I relax the feet. If you lift the feet off, the left foot off, while you're still in gear, any gear, first, second, reverse, the car will stall. Another reason for stalling is not using the handbrake appropriately. That can lead to problems. It can cause the car to roll back. And if an inexperienced driver tries to move off while the car is rolling back, it can lead to a certain sense of panic, and maybe the feet will be mistimed, and it can lead to stalling. I'll show you what I mean now. So I'm going to move forward here with the first gear. Let's check around first. I'm on a hill here now. I don't know if you can see, but I'm on a definite hill here. It's a quiet car park, but I'm on a hill. So I'll just get the bite here. I'm going to move forward here now. Everything's okay. Now I'm just going to stop in this car parking space here. Okay, but I want to go to the next space, so I'll stop here first. Now I'm not using the handbrake, so what's happening now is the car is rolling back, and if I bring the clutch up now and try and move up, whoops, there she goes, and just for security reasons I'll get the handbrake up and then neutral. Now I didn't use the handbrake properly there. I tried to bring the clutch up a little quick as the car was rolling back. That's a mistake. What I should have done is what I'm about to do next. Use the handbrake, get the bite, then have steady feet to move off. Let's see how it's done properly now. So the car's already started, just checking around first to make sure everything's okay. Go into first gear, get the bite there, just checking. Now I'm going to go up to the next space here then. So I'm still on quite a hill here, so I'm going to have a nice gentle stop here now. Now it's a hill, so handbrake first, then a little bit of juice, get the bite, and then I can proceed to the next space there. And I'm going to go into this next parking space just here now. And I'll bring the car to a stop. And there we go. And handbrake and neutral. So that was much better because I was on a hill, as I explained, and when I stopped on the hill, my first instinct is to put the handbrake up, and from there then I get a little bit of juice, get the bite, and then move off on the basis of using the handbrake. If you don't use the handbrake, it could be dangerous. You could roll back, it could lead to panic and stress, and the car could easily conk out. And more importantly, there could be people or children behind you. So it's important to use the handbrake anytime you stop on a hill. I have made a video on that. You'll see a link on the top of the screen there now about the times that you should use the handbrake when you're out driving. So I'm going to be taking a right turn here, which could be on a bit of a hill as well. So I'll check my mirrors, indicate right. I'm already down to second gear. So I have a nice gentle stop here then, just at the line. Now I can definitely feel the front of the car is more elevated than the back. So I'll put the handbrake up first and go into first gear. Then I get a little bite here then, just there. So I don't roll back, I get the bite. So I'm going to creep out a bit first with gentle clutch control, leaning forward. Looks okay then. One last look, and all safe there then. So that was a case there. It was a slight hill. It wasn't the biggest hill in the world, but it was definitely a hill. So it was better there that I used the handbrake to avoid rollback. Got the bite, and then away I went, showing good observation. The next reason why learner drivers sometimes stall the car while out driving is because they don't get down the gears in time, or they don't get down to the appropriate gear. I'm going to show you now what it's like to not get down to the proper gears, which should be second gear by the way, for turns. I'm going to be taking a left turn up ahead here, just where that car pulled out. So I'm going to be taking a left, so mirrors and indicate, and I'm going to be deliberately doing it in the wrong gear. I'll get down as far as third, sure, I'll see what that's like. So I'm going to go to third. Now it's a pretty narrow entrance, so I really should be in second gear here. So I'm in third here now, and it's a bit of a tight one, so I'm going to go slow here. Now it's already, the car's already starting to struggle. You can probably feel it there, and it's jumping a bit there. So although the car survived, it wasn't very comfortable there. It began to struggle, it began to shake and chug a little bit, and in another car, on another day, it could have conked out. So it just struggled a bit, but it didn't stall. But it is a common reason why learners stall the car, because they don't get down the gears, down to second gear in time. So here, for example, I'm going left here. This time I'll get into second gear. Now that feels better. It feels a bit slower, it feels more controlled, and there's no jumping or chugging or struggling that time. On a similar type of turn, it was kind of a narrow entrance like the previous one. And because I got down to second gear that time, the car didn't struggle or chug that time. And now I just stop here then, so it's handbrake and neutral, and only then can I relax the feet then. So that's it there. It's very important to get down the gears in time, usually second gear. There are certain occasions when you could do junctions and ramps in third gear, but usually second gear is the ideal gear to do a junction for smoothness and for the best possible efficiency. So as I was saying, it's so important to get down the gears. If you don't get down the gears approaching a junction, it could lead to a stall, especially if the junction you're turning into is on an uphill. Let's try that here now. I'm going to be taking a left turn here now, and if I don't get down the gears, it could be a bit of trouble. So here we are, mirrors indicate left. Okay, so I'll just get down as far as third gear. We'll see what third is like. This is the junction here now. It's a bit of an uphill, so in I come then. As I try and make it in third gear here then, you can see that the car is stalling. Oh, and there she goes, she stalls there now. And as always, when it stalls, handbrake first, and then neutral. So because I didn't get down to the appropriate gear there, which would have been second gear, the car was under too much pressure. I did it in third. The car is under too much strain and stress, and as a result of that, the car stalled. So it's so important to get down the gears, especially if the road you're turning into is on an uphill, because the car needs more power, and you have a little more power in the lower gears. So that's just about it for now. If you would like to see some more driving lesson videos that I've made over the last year or so, you will see them coming up on screen there now. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon when I'll be making another video.